Mature content warning. This computer software contains content that may be unsuitable for some players, including depictions of violence, sexual conduct, abuse, rape, mental illness, murder, discriminatory language, and suicide. This work does not in any way endorse or affirm criminal acts or violations of human rights. By continuing beyond this point, the user agrees he or she or they acknowledge the above does not find such content described above offensive nor obscene and is requesting this content as in good mental health.
Hello everyone! As you can see, I am in a different model. This is actually my 2.1. Yeah, so basically, I did not want to debut with this model as of yet, but I wanted to wait until I got the hand rigging, but then I got too lazy, so I just, you know what, we're just gonna use it, and I'm not gonna do any debut or like a reveal. We're just gonna slowly get to know the model, and as we get along, we'll start to see its other features. But yeah, anyway, I missed last week. It's because that I just didn't want to record first thing, and second of thing, my laptop kind of like break. Even now, it's kind of struggling. So yeah, hopefully today's recording will be fine. But enough rambling, I've taken too much of your time, you all been waiting for this, so let's just start with it, okay? Minakami slipped by me. Without hesitating, I grabbed his arm.
待ってくれ失敗したんだ代償は支払ったのに橋姫はなぜかお前を選んでしまったどこ行くんだよ知ってるぞお前水道橋に行くつもりなんだろ
How many times do you think I've seen your death? I have no trouble picturing all the way you've died. So Minakami has been killing himself because Hashihime chose us? Why? I don't know. I don't know. No matter how terrible, I knew how things would unfold after this. I didn't want to be aware of it. I didn't want to see it with my own eyes. I had reached for Minakami's hand countless times.
やめてくれ頼むお願いだ
Minakami pulled a pen from his bag. I smacked it away as hard as I could, then threw the bag away far from him. Still, his expression didn't change. He pulled a chisel from his pants. Whoa, this guy's prepared! Minakami's prepared, bro. Jesus. Then, without the slightest bit of hesitation, he slit his throat. What? This was the first time he had died like this. Fresh blood spurted out, making Minakami's body stagger forward. He fell against the wall. Once he finally lost his strength, he slid to the floor. His half-open eyes clouded, incomprehensible tears slid down his cheeks. He was breathing heavily, as though he weren't someone who had just tried to kill himself.
水上
Oh, we start with a really dark note, huh? I held his head. He was cold, completely still. His body became heavier. Even though I had seen Minakami die so many times, this was the first time I had watched him actually die. Finally, I really felt like I could accept Minakami's feelings.
じゃあ満開死ね
Each time I would not give up. I rested Minakami's cold body in the pool of his own blood. I stood up, picked up the envelope from earlier, headed towards the theater where Minakami no longer was. What? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was currently playing. The film narrator was doing his unique voiceover for the monochrome foreigners. After standing at the entrance for a while, the caramel seller came up to me. I handed him my ticket from under my cloak. It was the half ticket Minakami had been keeping in his pants. As soon as I tried to explain that I was coming back in, he let out a high-pitched scream and rushed out. The theater was in an uproar. When I passed in front of the stage, the footage of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde illuminated me covered in blood. The film narrator and the audience ran out in all directions. I guess a man coming in covered in blood would be pretty shocking. I removed my cloak, soaked in blood, and fell heavily to the floor, dyeing the area around my feet red. The theater was quiet. The projection of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde covered me and the seats. When I strained my eyes, I spotted a single silhouette. A man was sitting in a seat right in the middle. He had large glasses and a black coat. He watched me with his large, stoic face.
春彦さん。
誰を探しているんだい？
編集者です。みなかみに原稿を渡したやつを探してるんです。
顔も知らないのに、この暗がりでどうやって探すつもりだい？
この鑑賞券に書かれた座席番号と座席の位置をここから照らし合わせるんです。
ではその隣が編集者というわけか。
だから、どいてください。そこは。
They were sitting Haruhiko-san, to the right of Minakami.
あなたは一体誰なんですか？どうしてあなたは私の。
なんで？どうして？なぜ？何？君はこの悪夢について、胎児の夢と同じだと答えを出していなかったかい？
I'm so confused.
君の場合は友情の完成のために、この悪夢を強いられているんだと。
He removed his round glasses. Eh? There sat an unfamiliar man.
君も伊達メガネを外しなさい、玉森くん。
Tenshu! Oh my god! It's our boss! Haruki-san, our boss? What? So confused. That voice.
天主。
He responded to me by slowly standing up. Couldn't help but fall speechless at his most frighteningly kind smile. But if you were here...
あなたがみなかみをここに？
ウロボロスという伝説の生き物がいる。
The Ouroboros is a snake. It bites its own tail and is a symbol of eternal recurrence. At the same time, it's also a symbol of immaturity.
どういうことですか？
Exactly. I'm so fucking confused.
何の葛藤もなく、望みもなく、現状に満足してしまっている愚か者。つまり、君のことだよ、玉森くん。
Tamamori-kin. Fool. He was rambling on about something I already knew.
君の夢は何だった？
私の夢？
To do what I want and to eat what I like. I mean, aren't we all? To laugh at whatever I want and listen to my favorite jazz. To read what I like, to sing my favorite songs and dream about what I love. I wanted to bathe every day. I want to fill my stomach with omelette rice and coffee 5 times a week. Bro, you're gonna get sick. My dream was for this reality to go on forever. In other words, it was to continue to preserve my current lifestyle for the rest of eternity.
立派な分子に。
その夢は叶わない。
Thanks.
残念ながらね。
貴様に何がわかるのだ？赤の他人の貴様に私の何がわかるのだ？
Only a month ago, it was the shopkeeper who had kindly welcomed me in after I had been chased out of the Oizumi residence. I'd been suddenly blown away by his calm tone like the one he had today. After listening to everything he had suggested, I live at Umebajito. The shopkeeper was the one who made me believe there was really such an accommodating god out there. It was by chance, a total coincidence, that the shop had been open during that light drizzle. Wasn't that when we met?
この世には自分と似たような人間がたくさんいる。 ドッペルゲンゲルの話をしているのではないよ。喝采と名声を得られるのはほんのごくわずかな人間だけだ。それを知っているから賢い人は皆大きな夢を諦める。
何を
夢は自尊心のためだけにある。その自尊心を容易に満たすには小さな夢を持つことが最善なのだ。君はそれを分かっているはずだ。大作家になどなれないと。
The wry smile, I shook my head, unable to understand what he was saying. Me too. Me too.
君の夢が叶わないのは、君が一人の男の笑顔に満たされてしまった結果なのだよ。
貴様は。
なんで How?
一体何なのだ。
夢の旧作。
Yo, what? Tenchi was Kyusaku Yumeno? That is... Whoa, I did not expect that. I did not expect that. Also, Kyusaku Yumeno's hot. Nice there. But damn! The fuck?
23年後の君の姿だよ。
Huh? I'm Tamamori's Kyusaku Yumeno? That's him? Pinky, I am. Whoa, what? 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 I don't know. Okay. Me, not 800,000 or 1,000 years. He came from just 23 years in the future. So when we jump, we always jump to this point of time? Is that how it is? So if he touched me, would I turn into water? I don't know.
私
Watashi? So it is given that the grandpa that met our little boy Hakase-kun was also me. Come on, it's not that far, right? It's possible, right? What? What the hell? Okay.
ただ少し、私は君と違う経験をしてきた。
Hmm?
場を変えようか。
The moment he gave me a heartwarming smile, the colors of the world inverted. Well, you said I never be a Daisaku or Daisaka or whatever he said, but you are Kisaku Yumeno and you are me. So, did I fulfill my dream? I don't know.
君にも見えるだろう、この幻想が。それは私が君で、君が私である証拠だ。
He couldn't understand how I felt right now, though he burst into laughter again as if to push me aside. Also, what happened to my voice?
私は君の作り上げた春彦という幻想を借りて、ずっと君の後を追っていた。本調子であれば、以後ももっと強いんだがな。
So all this time, Haruhiko-san is not Haruhiko-san, it's him? What? So Tenshu has been like following us? And no one else saw him? What the hell? I am so confused.
嘘だ。
Yeah,
嘘じゃない。
嘘じゃない. I had experienced several things that seemed like fiction, but I hadn't made an effort to understand them each time. I understood them, I had accepted them. Oh, that's why Haruhiko-san keeps saying things that we were like, how do you know that? I don't think I knew that. Oh my god. Mind blown. Man blown, baby. What the? Wow. I had come to the grips with things I should have never been. I had come to grips with things I should have never been able to experience, and yet this was probably the first time I did not want to believe it.
春彦さん、本当ですか？信じられないです。だって一緒に水上さんを助けようって。
Did Haruhi-san ever touch us either? I don't know.
私が君たちに求めていたのは諦めない精神だ。
だからあなたのおかげでここまで来られたんですよ。
だが君は道を誤っている。諦めないことと人に依存することを混同してはいけないよ。
そんな。
私はそれを律したかったのだよ。
I'm so confused. I genuinely do not have the brain capacity for this freaking story.
でもなんで私がそれとこれとは。
That meant that I was Kyusaku Yumeno? Minakami would read Kyusaku's manuscript and kill himself. That meant... What did it mean?
地下室の怪人。その封筒の中には君が今書いている原稿の続きが入っている。
What? So, So Minakami knew? What the hell is happening? I genuinely... I don't know. I don't know.
さあ、開けてみなさい。物語の終わりがそこにある。
I threw the envelope to the floor. I knew it. There was no way I could believe him.
時間を戻せるのは雨の間だけだ。貴様が誰でなぜこんな幻想を見せられるのか知らんが、私を騙そうと。
時間を戻せるのはこの雨の間だけではない。その方法は未来で水上が教えてくれた。
So you save Minakami, or Minakami would never have ever died if you did not play involved? Is that how it works? I don't know.
貴様があいつを水上と呼ぶな。
Hey, protect your man.
それは私たちだけのあだ名だ。
何もかもが懐かしいよ。
It's a nickname only for us? What? Shopkeeper said as he pulled a manuscript from nowhere. Right at that moment, the landscape suddenly changed to Jinbo Cho. The shopkeeper was right beside me, but he immediately distanced himself from me and the frogman. He smiled at me again. And this imaginary world that we both have is pretty convenient.
少し歩こう。
It was Jinbo Cho's landscape, no different from usual. The streetcar, people coming and going, the distant sky. Everything was the same as it was today. But Umebechito was the only thing that was not there.
ここは
ただの民家だ。大泉の家を追い出された私は結局一日も持たずにね。奥さんに泣いて土下座して1年の猶予をもらったんだ。当時は梅鉢堂なんてなかったから、私は大泉の家で肩身の狭い思いをしたよ。けど奥さんと直志くん、懐かしかったな。
幻想を解け。
しかし知らないままのことも多かったな。直志くんがまさかあの女給だったとは。不思議には思ってたんだよ。あの日の後、女給は突然カフェを辞めてしまってね。店長に聞いたらフランスに行ったなんて言うもんだから、やはりそんなことはなかったな。彼も短い人生だった。
Just then a rambling came towards us. Not again. As soon as I thought that, I was assaulted by a tremor I had yet to experience.
関東大震災と言ってね。君の年で言えば来年のことだ。
There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions that I have right now, and I don't know. I don't know. Like, I mean, what? I'm just so confused. I am just so confused. Like, how do they jump together? Right? How did they jump together? How did Hiko-san jump also with Tamamori? I don't know. No longer able to stand, I fell to the ground. The buildings in front of me collapsed right before my eyes. After a few seconds of darkness that cleared, I saw a blanket of debris spread out before me.
この地震で大泉の家も崩れた。奥さんも直し君も死んでしまった。それにしては美しい青空だろ
美しい。貴様の感性狂ってるんじゃないか。
私もそう思う。死んだ人を思うより生き延びた自分の運にばかり感謝していた。
水上たちは
生きてるよ。私と水上は堤大にいて助かったのだ。どっちも浪人生のくせにな。
Shopkeeper began to walk. Perhaps no longer doubting him, the frogman waddled after. I held back my anger and followed him too.
遠くまで見渡せるというのはいい心地だよな。
Wait, no, he did touch me. He did touch me, didn't he? When he forced us to take a walk with him. Did he not? I don't remember. You know what? Let's just read.
暗い顔をしてもどうにもならん。どんなに小さなことでも幸せだと感じられるようになりなさい。
私をどうしたいのだ。
強く鍛え直したいのだよ。
The shopkeeper turned around and stopped. His gaze was fixed behind me. Tabakun was standing there. The glasses he took so much pride in were broken. His left ankle was twisted in the wrong direction. 助けてくれ。
鳥羽君、今助けてやる。
I said as I tried to grab his shoulder, but he slipped through my hands. I had to help him somehow. When I turned back to the shopkeeper, I was there, watching Tabakun with an awful contempt in my eyes. Honey-san, 助けてくれ。助けてくれ。Kudo-kun. The shopkeeper turned away. Tabakun collapsed at the same time.
鳥羽君、鳥羽君、トロは。
He was dead. I had abandoned him.
おい、待て貴様、どこへ行く。
Yeah, he is a kisama.
ガキは苦手でな。
Same. I swallowed my tears and chased after shopkeeper.
貴様は悪魔だ。
何とでも言いなさい。自分に返ってくる言葉だよ。
悪魔め。
私は君のように彼らと戯れることはなかった。義理も情も何も感じていないよ。だが今の君でも果たして悪魔にならずにいられるかな。
The shopkeeper suddenly stopped and looked back up at the sky. His head tilted farther and farther back. For some reason, his jaw dropped open. When I accidentally followed his eyes, I saw countless manuscript pages fluttering down from the sky.
この地震から私は勉強どころじゃなくなった。己を支えるだけで精一杯になってしまう。
There were a downpour of manuscripts. I was instantly enveloped in a whirlwind of paper. The blue sky grew distant. I grew cold. The oxygen around me grew thin. What was this old man thinking? Was he trying to kill me? A wrench opened a small hole to breathe. When I lifted my head, I was in a room somewhere. There was an endless ringing of phones. Manuscript pages fluttered down here and there, and on top of that I could hear yelling all around me. I was also a part of this commotion.
ここは小石川にある出版社、博文館だ。
私は一体。
There was a red pencil in my right hand. In front of me was the name of an author I had never heard of, Rampo Edogawa. The title was A Dreadful Mistake. I'll lean over and start proofreading.
居眠りするとすぐこれだ。さあ、森下さんから任された仕事を片付けなさい。
嫌だ。私がどうしてこんなことを。
I shoved the pile of manuscript off the desk with my arm. All the employees that had been rushing around turned their cold stares towards me.
やはり私は私だな。私も多忙になるとそうやって怒りを発散したものだ。ああ、手が滑ったなんて言い訳しながらね。
Once I began to cheerfully pick up the manuscript, everyone went back to work as if nothing had happened.
川瀬とも疎遠になって、花沢なんて思い出すこともなかった。
Shopkeeper handed me an envelope. It was from Minato Suisenji.
ただ、水上とはずっと手紙でやり取りを続けていた。
How have you been, Tamamori? Sorry, it's been over a week since my last letter. He's the only one keeping in touch because he likes me. Oh my god, I miss you. I crumpled it up into a ball and stuffed it into a random drawer.
混沌としたこの時代に、怪奇小説なんてそう流行らなくて、みんな明るい小説を好んだ。私ももう、筆を取る暇なんてなかった。でも私と水上は、夢の旧作に夢中だった。
夢の旧作。
文通の中身はお互いの近況よりも彼の考察でいっぱいだった。
So, did we just copy future Kyusaku Yume no? Or are we actually Kyusaku Yume? I'm just confused now. The shopkeeper pulled the white-haired boy and Dr. Margaret from the mountain of books and smiled.
楽しかったよ。新青年という雑誌はもちろん知ってるだろう。私は後々、あれの編集長もやったんだよ。
I didn't want to believe it.
その権力で、世に出る前の原稿を水上に送ったりした。君だってそうするだろう。
しない。
でもするのだよ。こんな平坦な生活が続くんだと思ってた。だが。
A siren suddenly echoed. I clung to the window frame and saw a plane I had never seen before out in the distance. I reflected the light blinding me.
セアブリ山。
B29 だ。私が考えるより精巧で残酷な爆撃機だよ。
It was an aircraft that blended into the blue sky and dropped masses of iron without a sound. The townscape that had recovered from the Great Kanto earthquake was once again.
この神保町もひどい空襲を受けてね。たくさんの本が焼けたよ。
やめろ。やめてくれ。
だが、それだけじゃ終わらなかった。
幻想を止めろ。
A large explosion went off right above my head. Before I could even take a breath, there was a burst of pure white. I was thrown into the same wreckage again.
ああ。
街がせっかく復興したのに。
A large explosion went off right above my head. Before I could even take a breath, there was a burst of pure white.
神保町より大きな被害を受けたのが長崎、広島、京都だ。その大きな雲、気持ち悪い形だろ
う。Whoa. Is this like the World War?
以来私はキノコが食えない。
どうでもいいのだ、そんなことは。一体何なのだ。どうして日本はこんな。
When I heard someone crying, I immediately shut up. It was an innocent voice echoing across this black battlefield. It was less of a cry, and more of a blood-curdling scream. When I pushed my way through the rubble, there was a boy lying on its back. His leg seems to be stuck. He couldn't get up.
待ってろ、今助けてやる。貴様手伝え。私の力じゃこんな柱をどかせない。で、君も暴れるな。暴れたら足が。
The shopkeeper seemed like he was going to pass him by, but he slowly came toward him, cast a shadow over the boy's face and slapped his cheek hard.
黙りなさい。
The boy immediately stopped his crying. The shopkeeper then grabbed another piece of wood, stuck it under a pole, and opened a gap under it little by little. Once he was free, the boy jumped down and hugged the shopkeeper as he grabbed onto his sleeves.
ガキは嫌いだ。だが、素直なガキは嫌いじゃない。血はつながらなくとも、私の可愛い息子だよ。
The boy wearing fox mask looked up at me curiously.
離れなさい。
After being scolded for trying to hold the shopkeeper's hand, he moves away sadly. He moved sadly away. God, I can't read. Unable to bear seeing him like that, I glared back at the shopkeeper.
それで父親になったつもりか。飼い主の間違いだろ。
Calling that a parent-child relationship would be an offense to Madame and Naoshi-kun. Man like him didn't have any shred of empathy. The illusion I could escape from no matter how much I tried enraged me even further.
幻想を解け。私は過去の貴様ですらない。人違いだ。
その通り。君と私は同じ人間ではない。この物語は、君が私のようにならないための経典なのだよ。
Shopkeeper said another manuscript appeared in his hand. It was as though he knew this day would come. He read the manuscript he prepared out loud.
水上との文通はしばらく途切れていたが、戦後1ヶ月経って、また水上から手紙が来た。開けてごらんなさい。
I reached out and snatched an envelope he held out to me. Something immediately fell off about the letter's return address. Next to Minato Suisenji was his address back in the countryside of Aizu. When I lifted my face, we were on top of Juroko Bridge.
さあ行こう。その手紙によると、水上は酒蔵で待っているらしい。
I followed behind the shopkeeper and headed towards the Suisenji family brewery. At the entrance were two soldiers guarding the door.
招かれたのは私たちだ。手紙を見せて証明しなさい。
I searched my pockets, but the letter had vanished at some point. Suddenly, a white-haired boy passed it to me. White-haired boy? It's the giant! Bro, what is happening? What is happening? It couldn't be. The shopkeeper pulled the letter out of my hand as I froze. Soldiers relaxed once he showed them the embossed cherry blossom seal. We then entered the storehouse like it was no big deal.
待て待て。まさかこの子が地下室の。
その話についてはもう少し先だ。私にも公正というものがあるのでな。成長してくれ。
Seething, I stopped.
嫌だ。覚醒させろ。
Someone, anyone would be fine. Someone released me from this nightmare. Whether he was me or not, I didn't want to see the life of a man like this. I certainly didn't want to see the dreams of a pervert who would lock up his own son in a prison.
開けてくれ。開けろ。
So he basically conjured the phantom in the basement into a reality. What the F is happening? Genuinely, I do not understand.
鍵なんてかかってないよ。君が出ようと思えばいつでも出られる。梅鉢堂と同じだ。
嘘をつくな。
君がその戸を開けられないのは、私を自分と理解し始めている証拠だ。
嘘だろ。Who would actually believe all these lies? But the frogman by my side was drawn in by the shopkeeper's smile.
カエル男。
玉森さん、僕知りたいんです。この人が本当に春彦さんで玉森さんなのか。
何よバカな。
カエル男は君のもう一つの人格を有している。分かっていたはずだ。このカエル男が君にとってのジキル博士だと。
That mean I was Hyde? I was Dr. Jekyll's barbaric, ferocious other personality?
素直になれということだ。
そうやって私を惑わそうというのだな。いや、その手に乗るわけなかろう。
自分を信じられるなら見届けてみたらどうだ。簡単なことだ。
Fine, I'll see it for myself. Then I'll prove you're completely wrong. As soon as I took my first step, the shopkeeper turned around in relief and the frogman conformed to my consciousness once again and vanished. The shopkeeper grabbed a lamp from the wall and went into the darkness. Huge barrels formed an endless line in the storeroom. This must have been where they kept the sake to ferment. I heard it was an extremely vital place with the Suisenshi residents. There was dust everywhere, probably because it had been maintained in a vial. It was as though the Suisenshi family had come to an end. When we reached the end of the hall, there was a barely noticeable door slightly smaller than the entrance. Beyond it extended an even deeper darkness. There were countless sake bottles lined up on the shelves. Instead of their brand name, there were dates written on them. Some of them were faded, so I couldn't read them. The shopkeeper suddenly blew out the lamp. As if in response, a small lamp lit up in the darkness. The shadow of a man flickered in the candlelight. The man's hair spread in all directions. He was enshrined there like a doll. Minakami, I automatically called out to him. I ran down the aisle as I called his name over and over again. When I jumped towards him, he shed silent tears. What happened to him? Gomenasai, Tomori-kun. Gomenasai, gomenasai.
すまないって一体。
Gomenasai. Even if the shopkeeper wasn't me, this man was indeed Minakami. I grasped Minakami's shoulder and finally managed to lift his slouched body. I've ruined your dreams. いやいや、
落ち着け。落ち着いて話してくれ。
Will you listen to me? Will you believe me? About the Hashihime? Suddenly his mouth moved at an absurd speed. When I turned around, the shopkeeper was there flipping through the pages of his manuscript.
何しているんだ。
みなかみの言葉を全部書き出したんだが、原稿用紙20枚にもなってしまってな。読み飛ばしているのだ。
The shopkeeper skimmed over a number of pages and threw out the ones he no longer needed. Despite that, Minakami's mouth trembled even more. The Hashime is currently residing in you, Tamamori.
何も伝わってないよ。お前がこんなところにいる理由は何一つ。
That was when I heard the sound of a new footsteps behind me. I heard the whole story. Hanazawa? A blood-covered sword flashed in the darkness. A soldier appeared. He had a peg for his right leg. Bro, you're in bad shape. That physique definitely belonged to Hanazawa.
花沢私は玉森だ。
Hanazawa pushed me away, drew me closer to Minakami. I could sense a loss of blood emanating from the tip of his sword. Liar. In an effort to calm his rage, I immediately jumped towards Hanazawa. I won't forgive you. There's no way I'll let this slide.
どういうことなのだ。説明しろ。
He pretended to be a Mizusaki. He led this country to its demise.
水上が何を導いたって。
Minakami slowly stood up. A white sword shone in his hand. Tamamori! Stay right there.
え
Hanase. You're going to protect him too? Minakami cut off Hanazawa's head.
なんで
Nande indeed! What the hell? What the fuck? The military called us favored by Hashihime. The military called us favored by a Hashihime Mizusaki. But the Hashihime is residing in me. That's what he said earlier. If you're here, you won't be able to write stories. You'll have to spend the rest of your life in the storehouse. I wanted you to live freely, so I came forward as the Mizusaki. Minagami. I gave them random predictions of the future. I didn't even know what would happen tomorrow, but I tricked Hanazawa, I fooled everyone, and threw Japan into chaos. Minagami grabbed the sake bottle he was hiding behind him. He removed its seal right in front of me. This is the rain from the past, Minagami said as he stepped into the puddle. Do what I told you and step into this rainwater.
説明されてないぞ
So the sake are rainwater? Oh, so depending on how when the rain was made, we jump into that time. Whoa, that's insane. Okay.
すまん。さっき読み飛ばしてしまった。まあわかるだろう。君はそうやって何度も繰り返してきたのだから。
Tamamori, go back to that day and kill us. Once you do, you can end the war in its early stages. And Japan won't be engulfed in flames. What? I am so confused. Like, what?
さっきから何を言ってるか
Censorship won't be enforced, and the world will be much a freer place than it is now. You'll be able to write stories again. Shinsei-sen won't have to go out of business.
そんな
Sayonara, Namori. With the sword he used to kill Hanazawa, he stabbed himself in the neck. Blood ran down his long hair, instantly dyeing the puddle red.
どうしたんだ？その水たまりの先がどこに続くか気にならないのか？
I'm just confused by this point.
貴様はこの状況に冷静でいられたか私は叫び回ったよ花沢が能面の男に殺された時も水上が死んだ時も黙ってなんていられなかった
同じだ。
So was he forcing that smile? I turned away from the shopkeeper and took a step towards the puddle. Then just as the liquid began to soak into the toes of my shoes, the boy rushed towards me and grabbed my hand. I was thrown into space-time with him. My vision was cut off from my body, my mind and my soul were separated. I was going to die. The boy was being blown away by this windless, rainless storm. All of my strength came back to me and I held onto him, never letting go. The next instant I was tumbling down. It was dark and I could hear nothing other than the boy's breathing. I searched for his hand and held it tightly. We ran towards the dim light shining from the exit. This was where Minakami had sent us. Where the hell were we? This time I was able to open the door of my own accord. A landscape shrouded in dark clouds in the middle of the night jumped into sight. A boy was running down in a distant path within the rice paddies.
水上
年の近い子だね。
The shopkeeper needlessly said to the boy. The boy turned toward Minakami and screamed. His scream bounced off the sky and mountains and echoed several times louder, reaching the young Minakami's ears. Minakami turned around, his eyes were shining blue.
橋姫は継続する力ではない。どうやら橋姫が重複した場合、前の宿主を選ぶようだね。橋姫が意志ある存在という証拠だ。さあ、水上を追ってみようか。
Around us, whirlwind mixed with the rain. A storm was coming. So I'm guessing I lived through the years and became the old man, I suppose. But I lived through the years because I couldn't take my powers back. I gave my powers to Minakami because I didn't take his powers back. Is that it? Oh no, I don't know. I followed the shopkeeper so I could stop him. Eventually, Minakami reached my house. With perfect timing, I came running out. Minakami immediately grabbed me and held me back. Don't go, don't go. What's wrong, Minakami? Don't go. I need to beat him. Don't go, please, don't go. Damare. I brought my fist down on Minakami's scalp, one and two puppets formed on his head. Tamamori. どうしたの? You're crazy. The violent winds drowned out Minakami's shouting.
あれが今の君と、君の救おうとしている水上だ。彼も私を救うため、何度も繰り返したのだろうな。結局水上が泣き止まないから、私はカッパとの相撲は諦めたのだった。
The shopkeeper discarded the rest of the manuscript. Scene went back to the movie theater.
水上があの時代に私を送ったのには二つの意味があると気づいた。それは私が救われた時であること。そして水上が私でも容易に殺せる子供だったこと。私に彼を殺せようか。子を持つ身となって、幼い水上が愛おしく見えた。
Indeed.
だが私はこの世界を救わなければならない。水上を殺し、戦犯者である川瀬と花沢を殺し、
War criminals? Okay.
戦争を早期終結に導ければ、神保町が空爆されることなく、あの子も本当の親と暮らせるようになるかもしれない。私に出会うこともなくなる。
自覚はあったのだな。自分が最低の親であることに。
ああ、だから私は水上を殺す決心をつけた。せめて私たちが愛した夢の旧作の作品すべてが世に出たとき、それを奴の天命としようとな。
It was just insane. Indeed.
だが実際に夢の旧作が活動を始めるのは1926年からだ。それでは遅すぎる。だから私は1915年から夢の旧作を名乗り、全作品を刊行した。
So we are not Kizaku Yumeno. Okay.
まさか。
水上への弔いだ。
I sank to the floor.
旧作の物語はこの対象に合わさった。おかげで私に原稿料が入り、震災にも耐えうるあの銅を構えることができた。梅鉢銅は君と私を守るためでもあるのだよ。ドグラマグラは旧作後期の傑作だった。そして水上はドグラマグラを独領した。時は満ちたのだ。
Just happened to be raining that day, huh?
にゃは貴様はやっぱり私なんかじゃない。私は旧作が大嫌いだ。
私は夢の旧作を愛していた。一言一句間違えずに暗記していた。
違う、黙れ。
There was no way I was such a dishonest writer. I never dreamed of stealing anything from anyone. What this man had done was no different from killing someone. He was the fiendish murderer who had killed the real Kisaku Yumeno.
どうしてなんだ。どうしてお前は自分の物語を書かなかったんだ。私の物語で。
想像する力がなくなってしまったんだよ。君は好きな幻想を描けるだろう。目をつむって開けばすぐに。今の私にできることは その幻想を閉じてやることだけだ。上着の返り血から察するに、水上は自殺したのかな。
貴様が殺したのだ。
そうだな。奴は昔から式を探していたようだから。私が物語の最後という式を与えてしまったな。
I'll never forgive this man.
私はこれからゆっくり川瀬と花沢を殺す。戦犯者であるあの二人も殺さなければ意味がないのだ。
私がさせない。止めてみせる。
本当なら私だって君と変わってやりたいよ。だがおそらく意志は触れた側にしか残らない。肉体も同じだ。それは君もよくわかってるだろう。
I had killed myself several times to get here. The shopkeeper wanted to switch place with me. He could have touched me at any time.
私の体は今、病に蝕まれている。今の君が変わるしかないのだ。
I'll have to change. Suddenly, the shopkeeper clapped his hands together as he were closing a book. The high-pitched sound made me straighten up out of reflex.
見届けよ、私。水上と川瀬と花沢の死を乗り越え、彼らにすがり甘えていた自分を律して生きよ。そして筆を取れ。立派な文士となってみせよ。
それが貴様が私に悪夢を見せる理由か。
ああ。
無駄だ。
I stood up and dusted off my knees. I stared at the shopkeeper as I climbed the stairs one step at a time.
私はクズ人間だ。戦争が何だろうが関係ない。誰が死のうが生きようがどうだっていい。私の夢は今の貴様にわからない。
愚かな。
I approached the shopkeeper and smacked his cheek. Starting with the spot I touched, he turned clear blue, ripples running through his entire body. Just like the others, he turned to water and melted into the darkness. In the end, we couldn't understand each other. I wanted my help, and we rebelled against each other over and over again. That old man would be toying with his past self again. What a waste of life. Pathetic life. He made it this far while suffering from an illness. Even his own self wouldn't believe him. But I wasn't planning on stopping here. Fulfill my dreams in the next world. I was on the streetcar. I had fled from Toyokinuma and gone back to Umibachido. I jumped in a puddle and was now riding the streetcar. I was the only passenger. No one was there, a true solitude. I've been arriving at Jimbocho soon. The antique fragrance of old books permeated into the streetcar. This smell. This was the smell from the first time I came to this town. 9. Whoa, that was sure something of an opening of an episode. Jesus Christ, like what? So many shits happening. It had been a month ago. I've been driven out of the Oizumi house and rain like what we were having today beating down on me. I had no money, no shelter. What had awaited me in the drizzle was Umebachido's large front doors. To get out of the rain, I pretended to look for books. When I let out a gloomy sigh, though, the shopkeeper had spoken to me from the back of the store. I was like a broken record that day. I tried to say something, but I couldn't answer. My voice just cracked. It was the only sound that I could get out. The shopkeeper, with his calm voice full of understanding, had fixed the needle on my record. He made me play it all out. He listened to how I fled from my previous lodging, into how I had eaten anything for half a day, to how it had been more than a day since I bathed. And once he was done listening, he offered me a deal. If I ran the shop, he would rent out the room on the second floor to me. The shop was closed when it was sunny. He said he wanted me to open and run the shop only on rainy days. Every morning he would leave enough money for my meals for the day by the register. That was the only material exchange between us. I had never seen his face, and he had never seen mine. I opened the sochi. He was sitting on his heels as though he had been waiting for me the whole time. In his hands he held round glasses similar to mine.
不思議だ。 このメガネを覗くと、君の行動が俯瞰的に覗けるのだ。
Damn. It's weird now. It's weird. What?
ずっと見ていた。君が何度となく、この梅雨を繰り返してきたことを。
じゃあ、私がこれから何をしようと理解できるな。私はここで、お前を消す。お前が私であることを認めた上で。
そうか。
However, that didn't mean the nightmare the shopkeeper had shown me hadn't had any effect on me. I would never let Minakami die. I wouldn't let Kawase, Hanazawa, or anyone else get involved, but I'll fulfill my own dreams. The shopkeeper lowered his eyes and suddenly smiled.
雨さえ降っていなかったら、こんなことにはならなかっただろうな。私は水上に弔いを送り、君も過去へ跳躍する術は得られなかった。誤算だ。まさか雨が降ろうとは。
やらずの雨ってやつだ。
にゃはは。
Oh, we're still laughing like that. Shopkeeper laughed innocently. Now I get it. Kawase was right. That wasn't a laugh a mature adult would let out. The shopkeeper suddenly held out his hand.
触れなさい。私は、私を信じよう。
I took that hand. The back of it was firm. Pan had shaped this right hand. Without a doubt, he was me. He vanished into water right in my hand, grasped at the air, closing tightly as it lowered. What was this feeling flowing into my chest? This was nothing to cry about. There was nothing sad about it. The scene flowing into me from his memories had me crying now. When I happened to turn around, the man in no mask was standing behind me, silently looking down at me.
おじさん。
So the kid followed him to the past? I don't get the kid's story either. Like, did we get him in the future? Or like, did we get him in the past? Like, which one is it? I don't know. I don't really understand like the outline of this.
私はお前のおじさんだ。
I smiled at him, but he went past me and embraced the wet kimono. He buried his face in that kimono and headed towards the basement in silence. He dropped into the darkness and closed the door no one else could open. The shopkeeper had loved that child in his own way, and that child most likely loved the shopkeeper too.
店主、ただいま戻り。
Just then the other me ran into Meimachido.
なんだ貴様は。なぜ私と同じ顔をしている。私は未来から来たお前だ。80万年後でも1000年後でもない。ふざけたことを気でも違っているんじゃないか。愚かな。
愚かな。I switched place with all the means and sat by the register as usual. Machino was resting my hand when a red umbrella flickered in my slanted vision. He smiled softly as soon as he saw me.
おはよう。と言っても昼だが。
ちょうどよかったな。今は店を開いたところだ。それにまた、お前の言う通り雨が降ったぞ。おかげでほとんど濡れずに済んだ。
We didn't care for our goldfish this time. Minagami used his kitten. Didn't know he had a kitten. Oh, right, he had a cat. Like, actual cat. Okay. I forgot about that. To predict the weather. The reason he would always show up around me when it rained was because he didn't want to lose me, I guess. That was also why he bought me shoes. He knew all about my stingy personality and how I make sure not to fall into any puddles.
どうした？
いいや。
What a reserved, convoluted guy he was.
それはそうと、今日は借りた本を返しに来たんだ。
Minahami unwrapped the cloth he had brought with him and pulled out some books. He took out a few books and returned them to the shelf slowly enough to make me yawn. I watched this daily scene with my chin resting in my hand.
適当に眺め、適当に手に取る。 それが梅鉢島の面白さだ。
そういうことだったのか。吉屋の隣に類香が並んでいるのを見てから、この店はおかしいと思っていたが。
It was simply because I didn't want to get through the trouble of organizing them. Minakami nodded in understanding as he continued to return the books to the shelf, his hand moving as he were tracing constellations.
だからお前な。
なあ玉森、今気がついたんだが、やはり無意味なんてことはないよ。
Minakami pointed towards the top of the shelf of the bookcase.
いろはにほへと。ほら、例えば類香の80万年後の社会の隣には吉屋の花物語が並んでる。本の題名順に並べられているんだ。
それを適当というのだ。
Finally stood up and grabbed the books from his hand and
考
shoved
え
them.
すぎか。
I did not press anything.
ミステリ好きが高じたな。
I left Kisaku's double heart where he had pushed it in earlier and snatched another book from Minakami. Once I randomly shoved in all the 5 books I took from him, Minakami smiled wryly.
結局3日間で何冊読んだんだ。
20冊は借りたかな。
さすがの暇人だ。
新作は入れたか。
1ヶ月前から何も変わっていないぞ。
そうか。
Minakami muttered, somewhat disappointed.
ここにある本、読破したのか？
おそらく。もうピンとくる題名はないから。
Once Minakami had finished returning all 20 books he borrowed, he bent back and looked along the shelves. He then let out a distant sigh full of sense of accomplishment.
4000冊あるのにな。
何冊かすでに読んだことがあるものだったから、実際読んだのは300冊くらいだ。一段落ついてしまったかな。
Minakami was an abnormally avid reader. Unsatisfied with all the books in the Imperial University library, he even enjoyed my manuscripts. If there was a story he hadn't read, it was like he couldn't relax until he had the book. He was so obsessed with my manuscript that he was using them to decide when to end his life. He really was a Ronin-sei with way too much time on his hands.
それと、店の商品を借りっぱなしじゃ悪いからな。
Minakami said as he handed me the last book left in his hand. It was Kisaku? No. Kisaku Yume's Dogdamaga.
実はもう読んでしまったのだ。
ああ、そうか。じゃあ、棚に入れてしまおう。
Minakami shoved it onto random shelf, saying nothing. I closed my eyes and shut out the sight. Afterwards, Minakami pulled out a ticket of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from the back at his side.
奥さんから招待券をいただいたんだ。ご婦人方は怪奇映画に興味がないそうだ。
そりゃそうだ。女子供にはわからんよ。
玉森、ずっと見たがっていただろ。
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was a horror film. The main character was a man named Dr. Jekyll and his other personality Hyde. But you should know that by now.
どうだ？一緒に行ってくれるか？
悪いが、別の人を誘ってくれ。
I said as I took out the shopkeeper's ticket from my pocket.
今日、これから活動に行くのだ。その、
Oops. I accidentally pressed it. Sorry about that. Eh.
店番は？
気にすることはない。天使も許してくれる。
だが、店は開けない方が。
お前も暇なら、一緒に行かないか？
He must have been pretty flustered. He didn't seem to be able to fold his cloth.
一緒に行こうか。
Smart. Once we arrived at Toyokinuma, Minakami became even more silent. He fiddled with his box of caramels. When I asked him to give me one, he handed it to me without a word.
どうした？元気ないな。
いや、
お、会場のようだな。
Stood up from the chair, but Minakami didn't seem to be moving.
どうした？
俺はもう少しここで待ってる。
待ってる？どういうことだ？
開演を待つということだ。中は暗くて落ち着かない。
実は人を探してるんじゃないか？お前に手紙が来ただろう。物語の最後を教える
あ、ああ、
その主、実は私なのだよ。
Minakami's shoulders droop, seemingly in disappointment.
存外驚かないんだな。
やっぱり。お前のいたずらだったのか。
やっぱりってなんだ、やっぱりって。
お前の字だったからさ。
He was meeting an old friend today. Did that mean Minakami knew it was me? Well, I guess he didn't lie then. I was the one who was shocked. I felt dizzy again when Minakami burst into laughter. The movie started as soon as we got to our seats. The film narrators shouted enthusiastically for the scarce audience. All I did was watch Minakami next to me. I felt like trying something out. I tied on this sleeve. Yes, we're flirting.
なあ、みなかみ。ドグラマグラの中に、胎児の夢って論文が出てくるだろ？
ああ、あったな。
He answered me vaguely. I was a little annoyed, but whatever. It was embarrassing trying to talk to him face to face anyway.
私もな、実は、長い悪夢を見ていたのだ。それをお前に相談したくて、手紙を出し、ここへ呼んだのだよ。怖くなったんだ。私はバカだから、どうせこの先もずっと帝大なんか合格できなくて、朽ちていくんじゃないかって。
The narrative lines were off from the film. He was pretty inexperienced. Minakami was still enjoying it though. What a nice guy.
だから、田舎に帰ろうと思う。
うん。お前の夢は、立派な分子になることだろ？
ああ、もちろん諦めてないよ。
I'll be mysterious like Ruiko. I'll be artistic just like Yoshiya. I'll be a visionary like Yusaku. I'll become an editor somewhere. It wouldn't be such a terrible idea to publish a magazine featuring riddles like them. But I figured writing fantasies was really what suited me the best.
私と一緒に帰ってくれるか？お前さえいてくれれば、私は分子でいられる。何回も繰り返して、やっと気がつけたんだよ。
What do you mean to me?
わかるだろ？どうやって私がここまで来たか。
Minakami lowered his face for a moment. His open eyes were still facing the projection screen.
お前は何度も死んだよ。その度に私はこうしてお前に会いに来た。けど、それはお前を救うためじゃない。うぬぼれるなよ。もう私を一人にしてくれるな。
そうか。強いな。死んだ俺は。玉森にそんなこと言われたら死ねないじゃないか。
My heart! Minakami cried as he laughed. He then covered his eyes and slumped over. He shook with sobs just like on that stormy night. There was one thing I was hiding from Minakami. I left the envelope the shopkeeper was going to hand over to Minakami today on his desk. When I opened the envelope, out had come the manuscript for the Phantom in the basement. That damn shopkeeper, even though he said he'll lose his imagination, even though there were countless mistakes, he still managed to write a story to completion. And an end to the story did in fact exist. Apparently Minakami would die if I told him that, so I'll take it to the grave.
頭を上げてちょうだい。田舎に帰る旨、よくわかりました。
申し訳ありません。
皆さん、あなたの家とご縁があったから、あなたを受け入れたまで。
Inagami lowered his head again. I, on the other hand, stared at him coldly. Why had she kicked only me out? It just didn't make sense. Suddenly, Madam wasn't looking at Minakami, but at me. She seemed to see through my bitterness.
あなたを追い出した時、あなたはどうせ帰ってくると思った。ちょっとしたシェッタのつもりだったのよ。
Whoa, was like Kawase said. Ship just got on my hands and knees and cried. Minakami smiled wryly. Annoyed by his face, I parted my lips.
それと水上が借りていた本、確か屋根裏の二所条なんですが。
ええ、それが何か。
私がいただいてもいいですか？
どうぞご勝手に。
なんで玉森がそのことを。
I told you, we got back to the past a couple of times.
何もかも見抜けるに決まっているだろう。
He groaned, lowering his head again. That was when his cat came in from the eaves.
水上の猫だ。
あの猫は俺とは。
The cat began to groom himself right before Madam's cold eyes. Perhaps realizing his owner was panicking, the cat pawed open the sliding door. It slinked back to his bed in the closet. There was a paw print on the tatami. Luckily, Madam just burst into laughter. Waitress looked confused.
昼も来てましたよね。
ああ、
またオムレツライス食べるんですか？
今日はこの本を渡しに来た。
We're doing good.
ん？屋根裏の二所条？
君が読み終わったら奥さんに返すといい。これは奥さんから借りたものだから。
なんだ、僕が直しってバレてた？
君ほど可愛い人はいない。
変なタマさん、何も出ませんよ。
After poking my nose, he laughed at the spring in his step. I mean, she. Aww, that's so sweet.
直し君ってどういうことだ、玉森。
あの子も女装が趣味みたいでな。趣味というか、ただありのままを見せているだけというか。
あの表情、水を得た魚だな。
お店明日で閉めちゃうんですか？
No, my favorite character. Akase, come to the country with us.
はい。ですから最後に好きな本をどれでも持って行ってください。
じゃあ夢の旧作を意識。
どうぞ。結構量がありますが。
車に積むので大丈夫です。でも、
My poor boy.
じゃあさようなら。
さようなら。Don't cry, Akase-kun. Forced a smile right at the moment the car pulled up and he saw Tsurugi-san come out.
お持ちします。
ありがとう、一剣。
坊ちゃま、お涙が。
いや、なんだろう、これ。
He left with shaky steps.
玉森、いいのか？
え？
金魚のこと。
そうだった。博士。
I grabbed the fishbowl I placed by the register and rushed towards the door. Professor looked at the goldfish and then back at me. He seemed to get more and more confused each time.
この金魚、1週間前に金魚屋から買ったんです。でも弱っていて、明日には死んでしまうかもしれないんです。
それはお気の毒な。
でも私はこの町を立ちます。勝手ですが、最後の看取りをお願いできないでしょうか。
お安いご用ですよ。僕でよければ何なりと。
He loves me so much. I'm gonna miss you.
でも僕の開発した栄養剤の中に入れれば悠々と泳ぎ出すかと。
What kind of freaking nutrients? Okay.
本当ですか？
ええ、見とると言わず僕に預からせてください。
ありがとうございます。
君と僕の友情の証として育てます。大切に大切に。
Don't be sad, honey. Professor hugged the fishbowl tightly. I waved at him until I could no longer see the car.
これで挨拶は済んだな。
I returned to the shop, closing the doors behind me. When a tired smile came to my face, Minakami smiled at me sympathetically. Are we not saying goodbye to Kawase? I mean, he's a dick and all, but he's still our friend, kinda.
次に行くのは
Oh, okay, we're going to Kawase's.
で、何なの君たち。
突然ですまないが、別れの挨拶をしに来たのだ。
別れ？田舎にでも帰るの？
その通りだ。明日にでも会津に帰ろうと思っている。
いいんじゃない？
いいんじゃない？
賢明な判断だよ。分子になる夢も帝大に行く夢も諦めるわけだ。やる気のないやつに興味はないよ。俺は君と違って忙しいんだ。それじゃあね。水上もバカの風邪を移されないようにね。
実は俺も玉森と一緒に田舎に帰ることにしたんだ。
Oz's eyes open wide.
はあ？バカじゃないの。中退するってこと？
いや、俺はそもそも
帝大なんていつでも入れる。学業より大切なことを見つけたって感じ。ムカつくな。
ムカつくな。
違う。
俺をバカにするのも大概にしてくれ。
俺はそもそも帝大生じゃないんだ。
イエーイ。
騙していてすまん。わ
けがわからないよ。
落ちたんだ。去年も今年も。
何の冗談？本当に何なんだ？田舎に帰るとか言うのも嘘。
Why would we lie?
嘘ではない。水上は私と同じ浪人生なんだ。
考えさせてくれ。君は何でも暗記できるはずだ。例えば過去の暦とか。
でも俺は未来の暦は読めない。いくら頭に入っても応用することができないんだ。
どういうこと？
知っている問題に答えられても知らない問題には答えられない。想像力がない。
理解してくれたか？
お似合いだよ。君たち。
Thanks, babe. Kawase said, annoyed he shut the door.
怒らせたか？
気にするな。川瀬は勝手にお前を仮想的にしていたから自分がバカらしくなったんだろう。
そうだったのか。
お前も結構川瀬を無視したりとひどいことをしたらしいな。
なんだ、バレてたか。確かに帝大ではあいつを避けていた。学科は授業は講義内容はと聞かれても答えられないからな。
Oh, that's why. Why didn't you think about that? Self-preservation, huh? If it's even able to follow a guy like Kawase, it really was only good at looking smart. Are we gonna bring the Phantom? After getting most of our goodbyes out of the way, we're done for the moment. Well, not exactly. Minakami piled 20 books by Kyoka Izumi in one hand and shoved them into an empty space he made on the shelf. I was going to give all the books here to another used bookstore. So we're now sorting classic literature with the classic literature, the adventure novels with the adventure novels, and so on and so forth.
これだけで一晩はかかるか。
引き取り手も探さないと。
ああ、それに関して問題ない。ほら、三千堂っていう古書店があるだろ。あそこに融通の利くガキどもがいてな。ただで本をやると言えば喜んで運んでくれると思うのだ。
いつの間にか顔が広くなったな。
にゃ
Of course, I had fought with those guys more times than I could count. Obviously, they had no memory of that, but I still admired their irregular regiment. If I were staying in Jibocho, I probably would have built a better relationship with them. Thinking about all that kind of thing now exemplified just how childish I was. He was looking at me with concern in his eyes.
花沢に会ったって。
ああ、
花沢にも会いに行きたいんじゃないのか？
別に。それに、あまり見通した行動をすると、変に詮索を入れられる。控えるべきだ。
Hanazawa had changed. The reason we're going back home was to keep Minakami far out of his sights. That being said, I had no intention of telling Minakami what had happened between him and Hanazawa in the future. I figured they'll be much happier if they just obliviously held onto their memories of each other.
お前こそ、他に別れを言いたい相手はいないのか？
奥さんにも直し君にも挨拶は終えたし。
お前も私も結構孤独だな。
Yeah.
お前さえいてくれたら、あとはどうでもいいんだ。
Now he's all sweet and cuddly. How could he say that without an ounce of shame? We had been lacking such things from the start. When I thought about him buying a uniform he had no right to wear and trying to get his hands on textbooks, it was so pitiful it was giving me a headache. Then telling me it was to attract my attention. He really was quite the weirdo. I look away and place the book by Rico next to the register.
次は押川新郎だ。
あ。
Felt kind of awkward. Take Minasan's feelings into consideration. He seemed to have no interest in me unless I was a genius. I've always loved you. You're full of shit. What do you think love is? It's one thing to hold someone. It's one thing to be held back, right? By the way, Tamamori-kun, what's your type? I like busty women in the late 40s with huge asses.
最悪だ。
どうした玉森？
いや、ちょっと嫌なことを思い出してしまった。どうでもよかろう。
As soon as I reached for a book on the top shelf, the two books around it got caught and fell towards my face. Minakami quickly grabbed both of them in mid-air, baby! Yay!
本当に大丈夫か？
お前、本の安否に関しては行動が素早いんだ。
今は玉森が危ないと思ったから行動したまでだよ。
He's so openly flirting now. We love it. 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 Well, I may have just been on edge. I'll always be your number one reader. Reading your manuscript is what I live for. You told me things like that repeatedly. At the time, I thought nothing of it, but naturally, now that I knew how Minakami felt, the way I understood them had changed.
もちろん本はその次に大事だ。お、ちょうど今探してた尾崎紅葉だ。
私はもしお前に本が落ちてきたとしてもかばいはしない。笑うぞ。
なかなかひどいな。
本棚が倒れたらさすがに助けるが、引きずり出したらお前をなじる。
I mean, to be honest, I can see that.
ぼーっとしてるからそうなるんだと。
まあ、その通りかもしれんし、俺もうなずくだろうな。
だが、上記の事柄をお前に言われたら、私は怒る。
What is this conversation?
理不尽な。
それでも、私が好きか？
I already told you, I knew everything.
答えろ、真剣に聞いているのだから。
俺が言ったのか？
なあ、お前から聞いた。
It didn't sound like he loved me as a friend either.
好きだ。
Oh my god. Yes. I'm here for it. Oh my god.
好きだよ。
二度も言うな。恥を知れ、恥を。そしてだな。これもお前の探してる尾崎紅葉だ。
ありがとう。
ありがとう。 didn't happen to have the same feelings for Minakami as now she couldn't head for Kawase. I never considered giving only Minakami more coffee, nor would I have offered him a handkerchief if mud had splashed onto his clothes. But there was part of me that wanted to be liked by Minakami. I felt lost, like a stray sheep. Ever the reason I felt so conflicted was because Minakami didn't seem to think I would ever love him. Even now, he had calmly turned back to the bookshelf.
Minakami.
どうした？ほらこれ、押川の本だ。
Minakami focused on organizing the books. He probably didn't care how I felt. He acted like that even though he loved me. He was more selfish than I was. What a lonely guy. If I faced ahead, there were books by Shiro Oshikawa. If I turned around, there were books by Kiseki Yumeno that Professor had dropped. If I looked down, Nobuko Yoshiwa was there, and to my left was a book by Ruiko Kuriawa on the side. To my right was always Kyoka Izumi.
私はお前のことどうとも思ってないぞ。
わかってるさ。
なのにお前に好かれて嬉しいと思う。
The first time I found out about how Minakami felt about me, this might sound pretty bad, but I really felt nothing. It's something like it's not like I was aware of his feelings from the start, but it was as though there was already something built inside me that could understand him. It was definitely strange.
なあ、玉森。俺もたまには難しい話をしてもいいか？信じられないだろうけど。
Minakami's hand stopped moving. He then looked at me with a kind and sincere gaze.
実は。
Was he deciding something else from me? He seemed to be hesitating, so he mumbled the rest. I wasn't going to press him to continue. It had taken a while for us to get here, so I had no intention of asking him anything right away.
実は俺には。
Suddenly, the door to my vision flung open. It felt like the sound of the rain that came rushing in had brought me back to my senses. Out in the rain was wet black mantle. I recognized the thin ankle sticking out from underneath.
一剣さん?
Her mantle billowed in the wind.
先ほどの。
When Minakami tried to approach her, an eerily colored knife pierced the floor at his feet. What? Why? What?
おとなしく従うか、ここで私に殺されるか、お選びなさい。
What the fuck, Tatsurugi? What did I do? Oh god, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh no. Wait. Okay, I'm free. What the fuck, Tatsurugi? Tatsurugi-san aimed another knife at us. Her good eye was searching for Minakami's vitals.
なんなんだ貴様!
There was a bloodlust in her eye. When I stood in front of Minakami, she flipped the knife away.
玉森様、お引きになってくださいませ。
博士の命令か。
ええ。これからあなたに。
この変態一家が。
I grabbed Minakami's hand and ran towards the shopkeeper's room. He jumped out of the bag and ran out in the night without any sort of plan.
彼女は何なんだ？
ただの女中だ。
ただの女中がどうしてお前を？
博士の命令は絶対だ。まさか好きが高じて私を誘拐しようとは。
変態だな。
変態だ。何をされるかわからん。
We came out on the main street. If we could get to the station, we could probably lose her. There was nothing we could do if she blocked our way on this small path. In the middle of the road before us stood a silhouette. In the rain, the man took off his hood.
Hanazawa!
Oh no. Even though I was avoiding him, I was immediately relieved to see his familiar face. I clung to Hanazawa and pointed behind me.
助けてくれ。今おかしな女に襲われて。
He grabbed my arm. He pulled me towards him and thrust a knife to my neck. What?
花沢。
動くな。
動くな。Hanazawa aimed the sword in his right hand at Minakami. Wasn't this a continuation of the nightmare the shopkeeper showed me? Had I failed again? The headlights of a car shone brightly over the area. Once it had come right behind me, the back door opened. Even without being able to see very well, Hanazawa pushed me away with one hand. As soon as I tried to fight back, the door shut tight.
雨森様、お初にお目にかかりまして。サザンと申します。
What the fuck is happening?
開けろこの
そちら、銃弾すら通さない特殊装甲となっております。
努力する方向間違っているぞ。
どうぞこちらを嗅いで落ち着きになって。サザン特製の香でございます。
I felt dizzy as soon as I was engulfed by its sweet fragrance.
貴様。
あら、嫌だ。私もなんだか眠く。
This woman was a true moron! She fell asleep before me and began to snore. Clearly had an immediate effect. Get closer to the window and stare at Hanazawa's back blurred by the rain. Was I going to lose Minakami again? Yeah, I know, right? Stop killing him! What? Why is the universe so against us? I had a feeling things were going too well. Been freed from the shopkeeper's curse. I've been able to keep Minakami from leaving this world. Even my jealousy towards Kisaku Yumeno was gone now. Why does this only happen to me? If this were any other day, I would have screamed something like that as I suffered. However, I was already used to this nightmare, so I calmly began to think about my next move. Suddenly, I heard someone humming in the darkness. Oddly enough, when I strained my ears, my sense of smell also sharpened, and I realized my surroundings stank of oil. Where was this? Every soft and steam leaked from the thick pipes, making the room damp and humid. There was a familiar man with his back in front of me, in front of a large fish tank that took up an entire wall. That's the fish we gave him! He was bent over and wore a white coat. It was Hakase-kun. He suddenly stood up as if he had heard me blink. He then turned around towards me with his usual cheerful smile.
ああ、お目覚めですか、玉森くん。
博士
We hadn't been formally introduced in this world yet, but if we were both aware of each other's name, I figured there was no point in starting with introductions at this point. When I happened to look down at my feet, they were both tied with rope. Around the rope was a heavy metal lock. My hand seems to be free, but he clearly had no intention of letting me escape.
この縄をほどいてください。
それより見てください、君の金魚。
My single goldfish was swimming peacefully inside the tank.
水素水に少々塩を加えてみたんですが、どうやらお気に召したようですね。
それはありがとうございます。で、私に一体何用ですか？
用っていうのは、何からお話ししたらいいのでしょう。でも、取って食うようなつもりはないんです。だから安心してくださいね。
I didn't even assume that. Why would you say that? That would make me suspicious.
みなかみはどこですか？
あの野郎、みなかみくんって言うんですか。興味ないので花沢くんに任せました。
Ooh, suddenly turned sexy. I'm sorry, I have issues. I have issues. If you don't know already. この野郎. Oh my god, I love that.
ちなみにみなかみくんと君は一体どんなご関係で？
He's my babe, my husband. He's everything I ever want.
親友です。
それって僕と君よりも深い仲って意味ですか？
深いも何も私とお前は。
Hakase-kun pulled out 2 goldfish watering cans. Unfortunately, they were undeniably goldfish Professor had given me. Professor stroked them affectionately with a flushed cheeks and loving look in his eye.
君は何度も僕に会いに来てくれたんですね。その瞳に宿した橋姫の力で。
So he knew! He knew! Damn! Hakase-kun, I didn't thought you were this. I knew you were smart, but... Bro! How did Hakase-kun know about the Hashihime?
僕はこの金魚を友人にしか渡さないようにしているんです。 なのに君は2匹も持っている。ということは。
いえ、押し付けられただけです。
はあ、自分が羨ましい。死ぬほど羨ましい。
I am so creeped out of him, but I love it. This must be the reason Hakase-kun was always so forward with me.
ともかく、その2匹はお返しします。
そう言うと思って、新しい金魚上路を一つ忍ばせておきました。
どういう理屈だ。
照れないでくださいな。この2匹の金魚は僕が御所を大事にしますから。
Hentai there! He's a full-on hentai. What the frick, Hakase-kun? What is this?
家具だ家具だ。
御所の香りが。
Hakase-kun put the bottom of the goldfish watering can over each of his thighs and fell to his knees, his face turned upwards. There was nothing I could say to him at this point. I looked away and leaned back in my chair.
変なやつだと思わないでくださいね。
I mean, after that, I mean, I'll just say you're not a weirdo, bro. Oh god, who snapped a watering can? Oh god.
僕はただ嬉しくて。
I was glad he was happy, but I couldn't understand how he was connecting this with that. Suddenly, there was a soft knock on the door. Hakase-kun stood up as if nothing had happened and hid the goldfish watering can under his clothes.
どうぞ。
失礼します、お坊ちゃま。あら、お目覚めですのね、水森様。先ほどは手荒な真似をして申し訳ございません。
用は何だい？
お夜食をお持ちしまして。
それは僕の大好きな串カステラ。
もちろんお姉様には内緒でございますよ。
さあ、玉森くんも一緒に食べよう。
断じていらん。
He thrust the squirts castella cake towards my mouth, but I clenched my teeth. So he ate them instead, disappointed. No, he gladly ate those castella cakes.
なんなのだ。ここは一体。
そろそろ明かしてもいい頃でしょうか。サザン、玉森くんの縄を解いて差し上げて。
かしこまりました。
The ropes around my legs was cut apart. I thought I was finally free, but both my arms were bound tightly behind my back.
痛くはありませんか？
痛い。
まあ、それは大変。我慢なさって。
Then why did you even ask? Susan grabbed me from behind and forced me out of the room.
ここは陸軍科学研究所第3課地学的事項研究室です。今から所内を案内します。
It was an odd five-cornered space. I was dumbfounded for a moment, but I came back to my senses in a panic.
そんなことより花沢を呼んでください。あいつに話したいことがある。
遠慮しなくていいんですよ。どうぞ僕との再会を楽しんでください。
You're smiling brightly, probably because he had gotten his 2 goldfish watering can back.
そもそもなぜ貴様は橋姫のことを知って。
あれ、僕はまだ君に打ち明けていなかったんですか？
He came to a halt. He turned around and touched his own necktie.
このネクタイの色、何を模しているかわかりますか？君の瞳の色です。
I never realized that.
なんで私の目の色を。
Adam had told me that only those who had been possessed could see the effects of a Hashihime.
僕にもかつて宿っていたんですよ。吾妻橋の橋姫が。
Oh right, he came from a brewery too. So I'm guessing they have connections.
でも僕の目は。
Professor seemed to have remembered something as he collapsed. His mate immediately went to hold him up and both my hands were freed. I was about to try to
い
escape.
いんですか？水上くんがどうなっても。あ ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。卑怯なこと言ってごめんなさい。
早く説明してください。
ですから署内を案内して一からご説明しようと。
Getting convoluted and confusing and just complicated.
やはり付き合ってられん。
I push him away and dash towards a random hall. Shook off Hakase-kun as he clung to my arms and gradually made my way forward. This place was way too humid though. There were no windows and ventilation fan used to replace them were making me dizzy. What was with this humidity? This place didn't seem to be above
お
ground.
待ちください、川森様。これ以上の勝手な行動、このサザンが許しません。
This is why you should have brought the Phantom with you, come on. She stood in front of me and got into her karate stance. It was sort of amusing seeing her trying to mimic one of Hitotsurugi's lines. I was going to laugh but remembered that she had been able to bring Minakami down with one blow last time. Kept up my brave front even though I was covering on in the inside. Luckily, Hakase-kun immediately came between us.
玉森くんを傷つけることは僕が許さないよ。
ですが、お坊ちゃま。
彼は僕の大切な友人なんだ。ね。
私はお前を友人とは思っていない。あの金魚じょうろだって一方的に押し付けられたものだ。さっきからそう言っているだろう。
冗談ですよね。
Hakase-kun pulled out 2 goldfish cans. He snatched those goldfish and threw them on the floor as hard as I could.
なんてことを。
手っ取り早く要件を言え。こんなところ息苦しくていられない。
ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
そうやすやすと謝れるのなら実際の誠意を見せたらどうだ。
ああ、おっしゃる通りです。
お坊ちゃま。
ただもう少しだけ僕の話を聞いてくださいませんか。僕の夢の話です。
I was done talking with him. When I tried to get past him, he cut me off and grabbed my arms.
海底軍艦と大型爆撃機の開発、天候の操作、人造人間の製造、どれも荒唐無稽でしょ。たくさんの人に笑われました。否定されました。でも花沢くんは笑わなかったんです。そしてこれを聞いてくださる今の君も。
やはりお前はおもちゃでも作っているべきだ。
軍機を作ることは僕にとっておもちゃを作るのと同じなんです。そしておもちゃは見せびらかさないと意味がない。でも僕が君に見せるのはわけが違う。君からの共感が欲しいのです。
それだけのために私を誘拐したわけですか。
ええ。君がテートを離れる前に見せたいものがありまして。
Professor smiled. He really was Twister after all. That's why I love him. Hakase-kun began to walk down the opposite hall from the one I chose. Bazan stayed where she was and bowed her head deeply to us. Hakase-kun didn't ask or tell me to follow, but I began to walk behind him. All the people who we passed were wearing white buttonless coats like Professor. Everyone bowing at Hakase-kun was another strange sight.
この施設は24時間体制で管理しているんです。ちなみにこの部屋は。
Sorry I keep switching between Hakase and Professor. Because when I read I kind of forgot I want to say Hakase.
説明はやめろって言ってるでしょ。
ああ、残念です。君なら興味あると思ったんですが。
Of course I was interested. However, feelings as though knowing any more about this man would be stepping into dangerous territory, I restrained myself.
それに悲しいです。僕がこの金魚を押し付けただなんて。ごめんなさい。ご迷惑をかけ。
ご迷惑は進行形なんだが。
ああ、返す言葉もありません。
Professor said as he turned around, smiling widely.
でもこの扉の向こうを見れば、君の心はきっと弾むはずです。
Wait, I just realized we met Hakase-kun and he explained to us about the time jumping thing. So like, why did he act like, oh yeah, so this happened? Why didn't he just tell me? I guess because Hanazawa was there? I don't know. But he's making it really convoluted. Professor leaned against the doors and opened them from behind. Beyond him was a darkness I couldn't even see past. Cold air arose from under my feet, feeling as though something were drawing me in. Chills ran down my spine. An enticing smile, Hakase-kun sank into the darkness. When I followed him into the darkness, the door automatically shut as though it was built that way. Truly pitch-black darkness spread before my eyes. Hakase-kun turned on some equipment in the dark. Once he did, the lamps on the ceiling turned on, one after another, like a line of dominoes toppling over. A giant bridge came into view. It arched slightly, distorting the view from other side. He's trying to make a Hashihime! It was likely that this bridge wasn't meant for people. There were countless white umbrellas like mechanism lined up below us. They were each around 6 feet in diameter. The fact that they looked so small, they were extremely high up.
これは玉森くんは古事記の知識は終わりでもちろんなら話が早い
The hell is a Kojiki? Professor joyfully spread his hands out without noticing my confusion.
かつてイザナギとイザナミは雨の浮き橋より混沌の海をかき混ぜてこの大地を作ったと言われています。この白い機械は異合兵器。自母神イザナミから命を取った地震兵器なのです。
They were simulating earthquakes? The great something earthquake was made by them. Hakase-kun!
地震兵器イザナミ
はい
Hey! Love him. The instant the color of the bridge changed to gold. The sky was clear blue, making a vivid gradient where the color of seawater and the horizon intersected. The bridge was shrouded with white clouds, which made it feel like it was really floating in heaven.
なんだこの幻想は。
それは君が僕に同調してくれている証拠。
そんなふざけたことがあるか。私はこんなうさんくさい兵器信じられない。
さあもっとワクワクさせてあげますよ。
人の話を聞け。
I said as a huge spear fell into Professor's hand.
この雨のぬぼくを使って二柱は混沌をかき混ぜ大地を作りました。そうして作ったものがこちらになります。
I'm so confused. Professor pointed under the bridge. When I reluctantly glanced to my side, a newly formed Japan arose.
美しい緑ですね。
いいから早く幻想を閉じろ。
ですが人にこの矛を扱うことはできません。でもこの異合兵器なら簡単に大地をかき混ぜられてしまうんです。
そのうさんくさい口調もやめろ。
いいから見ていてください。
He threw the spear with ease. Part way through a wide sail opened on the spear, and it gently pierced the ocean. What was going to happen?
異合兵器はその傘から電離層に向けて超高周波を投射します。するとどうでしょう。
Reacting to Akase's excitement, the land began to shake.
電離層をリフレクト、つまり反射した高周波が低周波となって大地の深部に到達し地震を誘発するという仕組みなのです。さながら見えない矛でかき混ぜるように。
How was that like Izanami?
いかがでしょう玉森くん。建造費1億2000万1億2000万ですよ。
So this is why they're war criminals. I can see now. They're insane. What are they doing?
この矛先を敵国の空に向ければ壊滅的な被害を与えることができます。
Countless spears rained down from the sky. Without touching them, Professor bundled them together in midair, transferring them into one white umbrella. He leaned against his shoulder and turned away sadly.
ですが、この異合兵器はまだ自分の真上にしか高周波を放つことができないのです。
No way.
計測と死者を照らし合わせた結果、7割の精度で稼働していることが判明しましたが。
No way. It couldn't be. Were those recent earthquakes his doing?
貴様バカなのか。 何を血迷ったことを。
I grab his collar.
安心してください。照射する時間と傘の厚さによって深度を調節することができますから。
I punched his cheek as hard as I could. Professor's illusions faded and returned to the dim space from earlier.
どうしてですか、玉森くん。
貴様は分かってない。この兵器が誰の首を絞めるものなのか。
I grabbed his collar and pulled him up, then pushed him against the handrail of the bridge.
今ここで貴様を殺す。
ちょっと待ってください。冗談ですよね。
黙れ。
うわ。
I shoved him as hard as I could, but he was bracing himself with his hand and feet, so he wouldn't fall. I wrapped my hands around Hakase-kun's neck and strangled him.
玉森くん、苦しい。もっと強く。もっと。
Wow, bro. What is wrong with him?
この変態が。
I mean, understandable reaction.
その辺にしてくれないか、玉森。
Hanazawa's voice cooled me down like a spritz of water. Now that I was calm, I quickly moved away from Hakase-kun.
花沢。
Embarrassed by that tranquil gaze, my eyes began to wander. This man was no longer the Hanazawa I knew. Even though I knew that, I couldn't get rid of the trust I put him over the many years.
花沢、目を覚ましてくれ。お前は博士に騙されているんだよ。
博士は俺の親友だ。俺が決めたことだ。
Why did he feel that way about a man like this? My first shook on their own, then relaxed. I lifted my lowered gaze back towards Hanazawa.
みなかみはどこだ。
博士から異合兵器の説明は聞いたか。
花沢。
何を思った。
失望以外の何でもない。花沢、頼む。こんな馬鹿げたこともうやめにしよ
う。お前ならば分かってくれると思ったのだがな。
What am I supposed to understand? This eye weapon was something that should never exist in this world. If you like to invent things, then you should invent things. You should have been satisfied inventing stupid things like lie detectors and engine-powered scooters. But to make this kind of military weapon of all things?
こんな俺にしたのはお前だぞ、玉森。俺もお前の書く物語が好きだった。俺が今正直でいられるのは博士のおかげだ。こんな俺を受け入れてはくれまいか。あの頃叶わなかった談笑をお前としたい。
I could no longer tell what was a lie and what was the truth. My weakness made me want to believe it, Hanazawa, but he was trying to make me forget everything that happened this rainy season. Hanazawa didn't want me for a friend. He only wanted the power of Hashihime possessing me.
私をどう利用しようというのだ。
I finally glared back at Hanazawa.
俺の何を恐れている、玉森。
ただただ呆れ返ってるだけだ。自分の足元しか揺らせないこのガラクタをどう廃棄しようかとな。
この兵器は未完成だ。完成にはあと8000万必要になる。
人件費、建造費、別途維持費も必要になってきます。
It's absolute nonsense. Didn't they realize I'll be more happy to use that money to buy out the Calspeed factory?
僕は何としてでも完成させたいんです。それはおそらく君が一つの物語を作るのと一緒。
このまま研究が進めば1年以内の完成が見込めただろう。しかし海軍軍縮条約の余波が今我が陸軍にも迫ろうとしている。このまま陸軍が海軍同様に縮小されれば愚かな上層部は真っ先にこの研究所を切り捨てるだろう。
だろうな。こんなうさんくさい施設。
だからこそ橋姫の力が必要なのだ。橋姫を宿した者を 陸軍は水先と呼び囲っていた。だが3ヶ月前、男はある一つの予言を残して消えた。
予言？
日本が大戦に参入し大敗を期すと。軍縮が成立してしまった今、すでに日本は負けたも同然です。
その結末を回避するためには、上層部より先に水先の後継者を手に入れ、軍縮交渉に失敗する1年前に戻ること。
そして囲碁兵器への予算を確保させ完成を早める。それが僕の夢なんです。
大戦に勝利するためにはこの兵器が必要なのだ。
発明好きと空想好きが利害一致したというわけだな。
ああ。そしてここにもう一人の空想家がいるときたものだ。しかし驚いたぞ。まさか博士の話していた男が玉森。
やっぱり運命ということですよ。僕。
Oh, I'm so done with them. Never thought I despised Hakase this much. Continues to speak, still glaring at Hanazawa.
私が過去に戻ってそれを貴様らに伝えたところで今の貴様らが助かるわけではない。
分かっている。
分かっているならなぜ？
僕たちは救われなくともいいのです。一つ一つの積み重ねでどこかの世界を救うことができれば。
素晴らしい犠牲心だな。
一緒に日本を救いましょう、玉森くん。僕は橋目の名を知れどその跳躍方法を知りません。君だけが頼りなんです。
知らん。
言い逃れはできんぞ。
Hanazawa said as he pulled out his honorary silver pocket watch.
俺はこの偽物をそれと思わしき相手全員に渡している。
善意でくれたのではないのか。
だがお前に渡したのは本物だ。
どのみち私の退路を塞ぐ道具にしているではないか。
Hanazawa tossed the silver pocket watch to me. I watched it to fall to the floor without touching it.
俺たちは無理にお前を過去へ送ろうというわけではない。
私はそのまま過去に逃げることだってできるからな。私を立派な水先として教育してから送りたいのだろう。
教育なんてとんでもない。君は僕たちと同じ思考を持つ素質がある。現に君は先ほど僕の幻想に同調してくれましたし。
今は微塵も感じられん。
ウンデレという言葉が巷で流行っていますが、君はまさにツンデレですね。
ともかく貴様は黙ってろ。
ああ、玉森くん。
それに橋姫は水たまりを返さねば時間を跳躍できん。私にできることはせいぜいこの3日間を繰り返すことだけだ。失望しただろ
う。納得した。先の水先が蔵に閉じこもった理由、そしてなぜ水前寺家の蔵に大量の雨水が保管されていたか。
How did Hanazawa know about the storehouse? No, he had that knowledge even within the shopkeeper's memories. So I didn't think he already knew about Minakami's storehouse.
それさえ分かれば玉森、お前に用はない。
He pointed the gun at me.
ちょっと待ってください、花沢くん。話が違うじゃないですか。
どいてくれ博士。橋姫は宿主を失った場合、最も近しいものにつくという。つまりここで玉森を殺せば。
極論です。それを証明した者は誰もいません。
Hanazawa's brows knit momentarily as his gun wavered.
10年前、俺の父は殺された。時を自在に戻れる力があると教えてくれた男がいる。そいつはその力で俺の父を救おうと持ちかけてくれた。しかし陸軍に入り、水先という存在を知り、いよいよあれが嘘をついていないと知った。
待ってくれ。一体誰が、なんで橋姫のことを。
He fell silent. There must have been Hanazawa had no intention of telling me any more than that.
つまり俺にも 少なからず橋姫の知識はあるということだ。雨水の使用方法さえ分かれば、玉森、お前は不要だ。
ダメです。君は全く何も分かっていませんよ。
玉森が俺たちと同じ標榜を持つ可能性と、橋姫が俺へと推移する可能性とを比べた結果、後者の方が高いと見たまでだ。
でもですね、僕は玉森くんと一緒に研究したいなと。
He just likes me.
残念だ、博士。
すぐに理解できるはずないんですよ。だからほら、これからゆっくり時間をかけて語らいましょうね、玉森くん。
私には。
ではここで殺されても文句はあるまい。
Pulling the trigger and shooting me would take less than a second. Hanazawa seemed unwilling to do it.
花沢。
When I had gone down into the basement of Imbachida with him the first time, he had talked about the Shia Buriyama. It was nothing more than a childish fantasy, something to laugh about, but Hanazawa sincerely enjoyed my illusions. I was glad. I could not believe Hanazawa had loved my stories. It's something like I couldn't understand how Akase-kun felt. The door suddenly flung open. Minakami was standing there. I immediately smiled with relief, but there was something off about him.
水上。
His right hand gripped a sword. Red blood was dripping from the end of the Lord blade. Let's go, baby! Scared of all, his eyes were full of rage. Let's go, Minamina! Kill those bastards!
水上。
He didn't respond to my voice. His gaze was fixed only on Hanazawa.
全員殺したか。
I tried to run into him, but Akase-kun grabbed my arm. Akase-kun turned his contempt towards Minakami.
花沢くん、どうしてそいつを生かしておいたんです？
今片付ける。
やめてくれ、花沢。
Minakami shook the blood from the tip of his sword and stepped towards Hanazawa. That must have meant he was going to settle things before Hanazawa finished him off. But Hanazawa threw his gun at him, obscuring his trajectory, and used the opportunity to draw his sword. Let's go, baby! Oh god! Minakami continued to rush towards him. Hanazawa intercepted his swords from above. Let's go, Minamina! Both their faces were calm. There was no longer hesitation present in the sword fight.
お前は橋姫を勘違いしている。改める気がないのなら
殺すか。俺もどの道お前を生かすつもりはない。
Hanazawa spat out with resentment as he repelled Minakami. Hanazawa probably could have killed Minakami in that moment. Since he didn't, it was likely he was waiting for Minakami to bleed out.
花沢。
Professor pulled out a gun from his breast pocket. Running out of his patient, he pointed the gun at Minakami.
博士、やめろ。
暴れないでください。
Akase-kun muttered faintly as he pointed his gun at my forehead. There was a clear irritation in his eyes, an expression like he'd forgotten it was me. His face became even more tense as he pointed the gun back at Minakami. The sharp sound of a bullet shot through Minakami's left side. His vitals struck. Minakami finally fell onto his knees. Hanazawa's brow furrowed slightly as he glared at Professor.
生殺しは酷というものですよ、花沢くん。あれでそんなに不都合でしたか？
Hanazawa wordlessly looked towards Minakami. He then brought the tip of his sword close to Minakami's open mouth.
10年前を覚えているか。俺はお前にすがった。お前の力で救いたい者がいると。だが癌としてお前は首を振らなかった。その頃にはもう玉森に橋姫が推移していたのだろうな。それを告げなかったのはどの道我が身惜しさか。
ああ、そうだ。
Minakami's right arm was cut off. Why? Why is this happening?
玉森が橋姫を知れば必ず過去に戻ろうとするだろう。だから絶対に したくなかった。
だが俺は違う。俺は橋姫を一人だけのために使いはしない。この国のために橋姫を手に入れる。安心しろ。玉森も後であの世に送る。
Suddenly, the light in Minakami's eyes grew dull.
玉森に救われた命をみすみす捨てるつもりはない。
Minakami grabbed the sword from his severed right arm, as he thought he was pulling it from a sheath. However, Hanazawa's sword was already poised to kill him. However, I moved faster than both of them.
止めてくれたな。
I pushed Professor away and ran between Minakami and Hanazawa. I was prepared to die, of course. Even if Hanazawa was confused, I had a feeling I was literally saved by his restraint.
お前は水上を勘違いしている。雨の降るうちは他人のために行動してはならんのだ。
命乞いか。
命乞いなんかじゃない。橋姫はお前が考えているほど便利なものじゃないと言いたいんだ。私も水上もお前のために言ってるんだ。花沢、頼む。目を覚ましてくれ。このままじゃ水上が。
I felt the presence behind me disappear then. From the corner of my eye, I could see an approaching pool of blood.
水上。
He was on the ground. He didn't say anything. Blood and shadows fused. He wouldn't get up from that spot.
水上。おい。水上。返事してくれ。
It couldn't be true. I had finally...
嘘だ。
We had finally come so far. Even Minakami wanted to live. Yet once again I couldn't save him.
水上を弔うには自ら赴くのが一番じゃないか。
貴様は鬼だ。
At the very least, I won't look away. I'll watch you until the moment you kill me. You'll regret it. Lose yourself in this endless cycle like I have until you go mad and die.
花沢。
Even though that was how I felt, if my own weakness made me shut my eyes again. It was quiet. Probably have to find Minakami in this darkness. Start to lose consciousness now. I thought I heard Akase scream. Then I suddenly opened my eyes and Hanazawa was still standing there. But I couldn't read his expression. He should have been there, but Hanazawa's head was gone. Hanazawa fell forward like a tree with rotten roots. The cross-section of his neck didn't look very clean. I saw the figure of a man standing behind Hanazawa and understood everything. The man dropped the bent, blood-covered sword by his feet. He then timidly approached me and lowered his posture as if to show his submissiveness. Yes! I knew it! Baby! Hi, honey. I touched his mask. He flinched in surprise, but I drew closer to him. He was like a dog with a cat for a parent. He had been forced to kill people, and now I had made him kill someone. This feeling of guilt welling up inside must have been what the shopkeeper inside of me was feeling. It wasn't just Minakami I couldn't save.
もう何なんですかこれ。めちゃくちゃじゃないですか。僕のおもちゃがこんなに汚れて。
博士。
もういいです。対戦だ勝利だなんだって。僕はこの傑作を世に知らしめられればそれでいいんですから。
He shakily approached the handrail of the bridge. He gripped with both hands and let out a high-pitched peal of laughter. The lightning dimmed. The umbrella billows began to emit white light in their place. Professor's hysterical emotions changed their light to blue. It was a magical sight, like a vivid colored hydrangeas.
玉森くん、綺麗でしょ。おかしいな。
博士。
あれ、こうすればすぐにでも 大型地震が誘発されるはずなんですが。
Akaze is laughing quiet down, no longer able to hide his agitation. His fingertips switched.
はあ、お恥ずかしいところを。ちょっと待っていてくださいね。考えているところですから。
博士、聞いてください。来年、帝都を大地震が襲います。未来から来た私が、そう教えてくれました。あなたが今まで観測していた記録は、おそらくすべて、それの予兆なんです。
どういうことですか？
Even from behind, I could tell his expression had tensed.
あなたは本物の予診を継続している。
だから、どういうことですか？
神保町も、あなたの住む浅草も、帝都もすべて、その震災で焼けました。あなたは、その観測記録を世に広め、来年の地震に備えるよう呼びかけることが、
僕の研究が失敗だったって言いたいんですか？
When he turned around, his eyes was an awfully muddy color.
君も僕を笑うんですか？変人だって狂ってるって。
違います。
どいつもこいつも僕をバカにしやがって。あ、ごめんなさい。僕ムキになるとすぐ。
博士、
こうなったのも上層部のバカどものせいだ。あいつらが予算を出し惜しみさえしなければ。
博士、
趣味で作れりゃ苦労しませんよ。ダメだ。こんな自分が嫌だ。
Wow, he's like double personality or something. Hide and Jackal, baby.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。落ち着かなきゃ。
Akaze-kun sat, lowering his head and sinking to the floor.
こんなことじゃ、あの人に褒めてもらえない。
Tears fell from Professor's eyes. His shoulders shook with sobs as he clung to the rail. It was like he was already dead. Akaze and I were definitely alike. He made his fantasies into reality. I kept my fantasies as illusions. Even if our dreams were different, I couldn't laugh at him. He must have recognized me as the shopkeeper. I could finally call him by his name.
Kaoru?
Kaoru? That was the name of the phantom in the basement. How do I know? Oh, this story, right, I forgot. Suddenly the invisible threads holding him up snapped. He withered in front of me. A pool of blood slowly spread like an ink blot on the calligraphy paper. I wasn't sure where or we had been shot. Only that he must have suffered. I had stepped through countless pools of blood until I reached the surface. All I saw was blood and guts. It looks like a child splattering paint, and I felt nothing. Akaze, Anazawa, Minagami. I wouldn't look back at them. Everything was the same as before. Someone died or was killed until I saved them. Once I reached the surface, I was inside an overgrown grove of trees. I could see an iron gate in the distance. Kaoru must have destroyed the lock on the gate. When I began to walk past the gate, I saw a familiar pond. It was Sanshiro Pond, and this really was the Imperial University campus. In that case, I know how to get home. Step out in the blue rain once more. Whoa. New song! Wow. But with that, I'm gonna end the episodes today here. It's a long one for sure. Because, bro, shit was happening like left, right, and center. Like, what? Like, what was happening? By that point, I was just like, what in the world is happening? Also, I hope you like my new model. I think it's more fluid, and I move a lot more fast with this one. But yeah. Anyways, whoa. Sure was something. Sure was something. Oh god, I still can't comprehend the complete of the story. And I feel like I heard the name Kaoru somewhere before, but I'm guessing no? But anyways, oh god, Hakase-kun is insane. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But anyways, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope everyone have a great day and just sit through this episode because this episode was insane. I hope at least all the story and the longer version made the long wait worth it. I'm sorry I was away last week. But yeah. Bye. You'll be seeing me in this model from now on, I think. Let's see. Bye bye.